where ants and other insects are always finding ways into my home.
No way the ants are doing the Promised Neverland creation right now. Oh my gosh, they know that they're in the wrong world and they're trying to escape. Yo, that's fire. No, that's actually tough. A breakout video on TikTok has been taking my For You page by storm. The most intense war that has ever happened on this planet is happening between ants. And we're gonna see exactly how it started, where it's going, and most importantly, how it ended. Today's video is an ant war broke out in my giant grassland vivarium by Ants Canada. Welcome back to Stanley Live. Let's get it, let's go.
A great war is about to go down.
Wow.
This is Verdantia, my 2,000-gallon tropical grasslands vivarium. A giant
My goodness, he has this in his crib? Wow, imagine having this in your home.
Construction of a tropical grassland ecosystem, home to a vast array of plants and a growing menagerie of creatures, all involved in a balanced food web. But this week, a terrible...
This is gonna sound very why play 2K when you could just go outside and play basketball of me, but why realistically have a vivarium to that extent when you could just go outside and observe ants? Okay, I get it though. I know there's nuance to it.
Crisis befell the grasslands that threatened the precious balance within Verdantia, a merciless and lethal black plague of crazy...
Why the plague always gotta be black? No, cause I'm actually kind of a little sick of it though. I'll stop talking. Let me stop.
Oceans.
Oh.
Sweeping through the grasslands, attacking any life form in their path.
Wow.
A super colony of black crazy ants, one of the world's...
All right, bro, you're on 2 strikes and we just started the video, all right? Why couldn't it just be black ants? And you talking about the black ants is attacking everything, and now you're saying they're black ants that are crazy attacking everything? I just feel like there's a little bit of things to unpack in the way you're delivering this message right now.
Most notorious invasive ants was swarming in from an unknown location. The ravenous black crazy ants had appeared seemingly out of nowhere, with a coordinated attack against the native Verdantian creatures. But amidst the bloodshed and crisis, I had a plan, and a powerhouse colony of warriors of my own was waiting on the sidelines to help me execute it.
Wait, so he has ants that he be throwing in the thing?
But little did I know, adding these warriors in was the start of a saga, an insane story of triumph and death in the grasslands that will leave you shouting at your screen.
Dang.
Welcome to Season 6, Episode 8 of my
Season 6, Episode 8. There's more of these? What else are they doing? Building cars and infrastructure and stuff? Like renting apartments, taking their kids to school? How much content is there? They're ants.
System Vivarium series and Mother Nature's never-ending war of natives versus the invasives. Here,
what's good, Angel?
On the Ants Canada Ant Channel.
What's good, Canada's Ant Channel? See, when Canada record a war, it's about ants. When America records a war, right?
Please subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon. Welcome to the AC fam. Enjoy. They lay in their holding container in silence, not knowing they had been chosen for a very important task at hand. A medium-sized colony of marauder ants was restless as workers mapped out the tissue surface that covered the colony. And with all these minor workers were Zena and Gabrielle, 2 of the colony's biggest and bravest super majors.
Oh, I appreciate that,
They engaged
soul.
in discussion. So, where do you think we are? Gabrielle asked. I'm not sure, said Zena, but we must stand strong and ensure the safety of the queen, babies, and workers until we find out. Roger that, affirmed Gabrielle, as they both patrolled the area for dangers.
Okay.
Little did they know,
That's like the queens and stuff like that. Yo, she dumb thick. I get why she the queen. I'm not gonna lie. Is it a queen and a king? Cause I thought they can't coexist at the same time. Like not more than one queen or something like that.
I'm going to be deployed to their new station of residence to force a very powerful enemy into submission. An army with imperial intentions of invasion.
Whoa.
An isopod lay still as a leaf on a blade of grass.
I feel so bad for whenever I see like things that are clearly gonna get cooked in the habitat be in the habitat. Like this isopod's one life mission is to get absolutely eaten by ants. Like he doesn't have a happy life no matter what.
Hoping he wouldn't be discovered by the horde below. The black crazy ants were launching a full attack, and their target today were the isopods. The easiest to collect were the babies and the teens, whom they gassed
go for the kids
unconsciousness with formic acid.
Acid?
An isopod lay low to the ground as the black crazy ants raced like a pack of wolves above it. One wrong move, and it would alarm one of the ants,
Don't move.
which would attract the swarm.
You think it knows that it's like cooked?
When the coast was clear, it pushed forward, running cautiously along the floor.
Oh, he's cooked. Oh.
With its antennae, it tried its best to locate a path that was least covered in the ants' pheromones.
Oh, he's cooked.
It found a bunch of grass to hide in. It was unclear where these ants were coming from. They probably had a few satellite nests all around the grasslands. As I watched another isopod doing its best to escape the droves of ants, I was appalled.
How do you even escape ants? They literally get you with numbers, right?
At the sheer number of them.
Highly anticipated. Nice. I like that out of you, Psych. That's good
Before
work.
today, I had seen just a few workers here and there, so they didn't really concern me too much, as I figured they probably were just stragglers, circumstantially introduced via the decor when the Vivarium was first constructed, and probably didn't even have a queen. But I was wrong. Very wrong.
Okay.
As every isopod in the area was harassed. The isopods capable of rolling up into a ball could do nothing but hope the black crazy ants would eventually choose to leave, as the ants did their best
to pry
open.
That's a method though. If you could just hold yourself closed, right? Like, I know it only lasts for so long, but that's a method though.
The isopod balls.
No way it opens it. No way it opens up. Oh.
No, not my rubber duckies. Even the millipedes knew that danger was all around. Lucky for them, they were toxic and weren't the black crazy ants' primary target, at least for now. But they did their best to escape the formic acid-filled air. It hurt
Probably
to see the black crazy ants
more lore.
successfully unfurl some of the isopods
Wow.
as they celebrated, gassing the isopods to death, parading them home to their nest.
Wait, so the black crazy ants, yo, this has to be a microaggression. The black crazy ants that are super aggressive use gas to subdue their opponent. Alright, bro.
Nest to consume. I mean, who even wants to kill isopods? This was something I'd never
tell me they use basketball nets to trap them. Like, bro, I know what this is, bro.
seen before. But it was at this
I don't
moment
like it.
that I named these black crazy ants the Sagittarius Army, after the supermassive black hole
And
at the
he gave us a lame name.
center of our galaxy. Because clearly, they were willing to go for anything they could reach.
Now black things are going for anything we could now you think we going for anything. Okay, I'm gonna stop because they're gonna be new viewers on here and then they're gonna actually think that's what I think about him. I'll stop.
Again, at this rate, we would lose all the beautiful species of isopods at the hands of these ants. But isopods weren't the only ones affected by the Sagittarius Army, as they also had a taste for other food
Like
as
what?
well. Beast, our resident rhino beetle, had emerged from the soil,
Whoa,
waking up after a whole day's
huge.
slumber. Like I usually do, I had placed a banana nearby for him to eat. But what happened next left my jaw on the floor.
That ants took it.
It wasn't long before some black crazy ants appeared on the scene, attracted by the fresh banana. And the swarm began to file in.
It's no spiders in here.
You've got to be kidding! These ants like banana too? Oh no!
Yo, he fed the black crazy ants bananas. Bro, am I crazy? Somebody tell me if it's me. Somebody tell me if it's me. Cause at what point do we just point out the obvious, bro? At what point do I have to not sit here and act, bro? It's getting a little bit crazy, bro. You gave the black crazy ant some bananas. Come on, gang. Come on, gang. It just feels a little odd, bro.
Sagittarius army began to feast on the fruit.
You feel me, soul?
Beast, driven by hunger, pushed himself out of the soil
And it was for the black beetle, see, Noodle. Now we thinking, chat.
and did something I never expected he would. Instead of running away from the swarm, he headed straight into it.
Oh, whoa. Nah, he the boss, I ain't gonna lie. Nah, he got this.
And began to feast on the banana. Black crazy ants were all over him, but he didn't care. He was hungry.
Because the shell is so tough, right? This feels like National Geographic.
He tried to push the banana a bit, to find the best bare spot in which to feed, but there was just no use.
Yo, there's so many
He
ants.
had no choice
Oh, it's
but to
making me
bury
feel-
his knees into the sides
It's making my skin
and
crawl.
plant his mouth parts deep into the banana.
Yo, Psych, that was actually a hard one-liner.
I wasn't too worried about him though, as his armor was extremely tough, and their formic acid was useless against it. The ants seemed to know this too, as they crawled all over him. It was strange to me how this colony just exploded out of nowhere, because usually I would see the population get bigger and bigger, and I would have enough time to deal with the issue. I know this is a fast-growing species, but not this fast.
You out here feeding on bananas.
This was definitely a problem I had to deal with ASAP. Now in the past,
good, official?
in the face of a black crazy ant problem, I have resorted to a number of different solutions, but the latest and easiest has
What?
been spot vacuuming black crazy ants when they swarm.
Removing the black ant fathers from the community. Chat, need I say more? Need I say more? Their way of destruction was to remove the foundational ants from the community. And now when the community falls apart, when the community struggles to succeed, whose fault is it gonna be? I'm just saying, at some point, brother, we just gotta look at it for what it is. I won't stay quiet no more.
Or sucking them out of their satellite nests, like a periodic visit of an anteater feeding on ants. But in this case, doing so wouldn't be that easy.
Nah, Psych, you too deep. You too deep in, Psych.
A native cricket was standing completely still on the rocks as the ants trailed around him, but his instincts told him he better dip, so he boinged up into the grass,
Okay, W. Crook.
where he did his best to climb
yeah.
higher. So because of the nature of Verdantia being mostly grasses, plants, and soil, turning my powerful vacuum onto these plants and grasses would totally rip them out of the soils, along with the abundance of life that already resides in them. Verdantia's vegetation was full of living creatures. In a small patch of grassland, I could spot
You gotta
a
get
bug,
1,000 shots up a
a
day.
tiny shiny beetle,
At least 300.
a hawk moth, many of these gorgeous native katydids,
Oh, these are beautiful.
ordinary grasshoppers, and slant-faced grasshoppers. So you see,
I take it back. That's not beautiful. Hey, everything was beautiful. I'm looking at this like, wow, God's creations are so amazing. He took the day off on this one. Hey, I'm not gonna lie, bro. He passed this one on to somebody else. This was not his favorite project right here, for sure. For sure.
using my vacuum in the grasslands was
You
not a
could vacuum this one. I don't think anybody else gonna be too mad. We could vacuum this one.
feasible option here, as so much life,
He was
both plant and
multitasking.
animal, would be in danger of being sucked up. So then, what would be my plan? Was there even hope for a solution here? Yes. Let me show you. In Pandora, the
That looks
Sapphire
so
Royals,
beautiful.
my colony of blue ants, were feasting cum gusto on a piece of apple.
Nice.
How I love these stunning ants, a longtime dream
got the
species of
mango.
mine, and watching them happily feeding filled my heart with such joy. I'm glad to report the Sapphire Royals have adapted well and are thriving in the forest. Joining them on this meal are the Chromatoblasters, who also have a taste for fruit.
It looks like waterbenders and
Now these
earthbenders.
acrobat ants used to be the top ants in the forest, bullying everyone. But in case you haven't noticed, there's been a shift in natural order. Have a look at them eating this piece of watermelon. You'll notice that the once hot-headed Chromatoblasters are now totally submissive to the blue ants, who are now the clear alpha ant species of the forest.
Whoa. Nah, the other ones didn't have no dog in them. I mean, obviously, ants with the exoskeleton, it's really hard to have anything in them. But like, dang, the other ants got pressed out. No.
Now this forest used to be plagued with black crazy ants,
What's good?
but after
zombie
spot
ant,
vacuuming,
melanin.
reducing their numbers. Want to know why they haven't had an epic resurgence in population?
Why?
Their population has stayed down because
food?
of hierarchy. Looking at the Sapphire Royals feeding on this orange slice, you can see the nomads, our resident nomads, who also used to be an alpha ant species at one point, now cowering beneath the orange and feeding in secret away from the blue ants.
So literally, they don't have enough food to be contestants with the bigger ants because they can't. If they reproduce, other people that they reproduce is gonna die.
The blue ants are so aggressive at defending their crown as
Dang.
top ants, chasing away lower ant species until they're finished eating. Though there are still black crazy ants in the forest, their growth is totally suppressed by the competition, and in this forest, they're at the bottom of the totem pole. And so I've learned that although an ant super invasion can hinder local biodiversity,
Right.
it also runs the other way. Local super biodiversity can hinder invasions. So my plan,
I'm not gonna lie, I can't sit here and cap like I know what biodiversity means. It's diversity that ends up in a biome.
to combat the Sagittarius army was to biodiversify Verdantia, just like Pandora, starting with the introduction of some well-needed competition. In my experience, marauder ants are some of the toughest ants around.
Shout out to
Polymorphic
Marauders.
with massive supermajors for protection and strength, and aggressive with colonies that grow to massive sizes. In my mind, they were the perfect competitor to apply pressure against the Sagittarius army. Plus, marauder ants
I
are
don't wanna
partially
apply
a
pressure
harvester
in here.
type ant and are granivorous, meaning they eat grains, which, hello, our grasslands were abundant in. AC family, what should we name this marauder ant colony? Let me know in the
Talk to me.
comments. Whatever we end up naming them, I sure hoped this plan would work and that they would survive against the Sag army. It's time for Verdantia's well-needed.
You know what he sounds like, bro? He sounds like Sergio from UDY videos when he wants your girl to cheat on you. That's what it is. It's giving like the angst of like, oh, just wait till they start fighting. Like, I want you to see them fighting. That's what it really gives.
First World War to begin.
The ants is crazy.
Sagittarius Army, I'm sorry, but you're going down if it's the last thing I do.
Oh, okay, so he's sliming him out. Okay, I thought this was happening a little bit more naturally. No, he's like entering the area to slime him out. He's exterminating low-key.
Verdantia must...
It's like he wanted to get his hands dirty without getting his hands dirty, so he employs somebody else to get their hands dirty. The Leaf Village from Naruto. Now, I know you didn't see that coming, but we have to start having an honest conversation about what they were doing in that village. Village hidden in the leaf, a little corrupt. I'm not gonna lie, they were doing the same thing.
Survive.
Blood ants and crypt ants.
I used my tweezers to create a starting hole for the colony deep into the soil and placed the marauder ant colony with the tissue onto the soil close to the hole. And just like that, the colony was in, and they immediately kicked into emergency mode. I watched our hole closely for one of the ants to discover it. Their first priority was to organize the brood. Zena was patrolling around the vicinity. "Stay close to the colony, everyone," she warned. Then she climbed the tissue to assume a better vantage point and protect against dangers from above.
Dan, do you actually
Her
think that's what
utmost
that
priority was the safety of the colony.
Yo, that is crazy if that's what it was. Whenever you see ant or anything, insects that small for real, I rarely think about how they process the idea of information. So to have this footage where an ant is looking for a vantage point to make the right moves, very interesting, because I really just thought they'd be out here. Aren't ants supposed to be blind as well?
Gabrielle and other sub-majors watched over those at ground level. Suddenly, I noticed miners checking out the hole. Yay! It was then that I spotted a huge mass crawling beneath the tissue. The hair on my arm stood up in her royal presence.
A mass?
It was the queen. I bowed my head in respect. She was mobilized to move somewhere, but turns out it wasn't into my hole. Oh,
they're working too
the ants had found their own spot in which to emigrate, a shadowy place beneath a nearby rock. Okay, good. The ants were so fast at this.
Bro, that looks like a hard day's at work. Like, I know they're working their antlers off. Ants don't have antlers, Stanley.
The transport of the brood to their new spot had begun.
Right.
It was amazing how quickly the colony had problem solved and established a clear direction. And they did this all via pheromone communication.
That is cool.
The trail of ants carrying the babies into their new place pushed forth bravely. And it was then that a sight I hadn't seen in so long took my breath away.
Like what?
A sub-major returned to the colony from the rock and gave the clearance they were all waiting for.
What was the clearance? Oh!
The queen emerged, covered in a veil of workers, flanked by an entourage of majors and sub-majors, as well as Gabrielle.
Oh my gosh, Gabriella went and got somebody on feet. Gabriella literally touched down and she wasted no time and hopped out and got her on feet.
Keeping watch over the queen from behind, they escorted Her Royal Highness into the darkness.
Whoa!
Verdantia had welcomed their new royal to her soils. Now that the most important member of the colony was secured below ground, the next priority to secure was all the brood. The ants rushed to transport them all in. Zena continued to watch from above. Our hole was still empty. At this point, the greater portion of the colony was now under the rock, and Gabrielle was called to tend to the colony below ground. Wait, but where is Zena?
Gabrielle, we need you below ground.
Oh, all right.
It's crazy. They really are having meetings on what they should do.
Little did they know, some spies were watching everything from the fringes.
Whoa.
It was time to report back to the army.
Whoa.
Over the next few minutes, the emigration seemed to be going perfectly as planned. Gabrielle finally re-emerged. She had to check up on her best
Gabrielle kind of like that. Like, they should really be holding an ant ceremony for her right now.
friend Zena. At the tissue were other super majors, keeping watch over the remaining brood still to be moved in. Hey, Zena? Where are you? Gabrielle continued to scan the crowd for Zena. Hey, any idea where Zena went? It was then that I spotted black crazy ants gathering along the sides. The Sagittarius army was collecting in the shadows. I had a very bad feeling about this.
Yeah.
Zena, still atop the tissue, was not going to leave until the entire colony was moved in and safe within the safety of the rock. Looking at the Sag army, I noticed that they had captured prisoners, marauder ants that had wandered too far from the rest. The
Nice.
black crazy ants also managed to swoop
As
in
long as it's not
and
the black ants that got caught. You know what I'm saying? I got steak on them.
abduct babies.
The
No.
black ants seem really chill to me right now.
Using soil excavated from beneath the rock, the marauders began to build a safety barrier along the edge of their trail. Workers began to urge Zena to move with them under the rock. Come down with us, Zena. Let's go. She remained firm in her spot. I'm not leaving the colony, as miners continued to nudge her forward. Go
I'm
now.
not gonna lie, she looks scary. Whatever she says, absolutely goes, madam. I am so sorry to ever have questioned you in the first place, Your Highness.
Oh. One warned, you must leave, Zena. Come now. Most of us are down there. Follow me. But she had made her decision to watch over the remaining members. All super majors, including Gabrielle, were ordered to head below ground. The walls were continuing to be built as pheromonal warnings of enemies nearby began to float in the air.
And the queen had to smell
Soon,
that.
nearly 80% of the colony was now below ground. This was a critical moment. Not many were left at the tissue now, but the ants at ground level, and Zena went down to join them. But this gave the Sagittarius army the perfect opportunity to move in. Less brood were seen at the trail. The walls were continuing to be constructed, and black crazy ants were zooming in from the sides, as well as monitoring from above. And then, the unexpected. Marauder ants were seen running from the hole. They had discovered it and were beginning to excavate.
Oh, they're gonna go
Were they
back?
working on a second layer? How strange. In the ant world, when one ant has an idea, it tries to get others to join in
Yeah.
and help. And sometimes it results in two separate projects. But this was about to be a
'Cause this was-
huge mistake.
Because this was an attack. This isn't about doing anything. It's literally about him trying to strategically take over these people who have came into their lands.
Zena
He said,
remained
"Why am I
firm,
stressing about
protectively
ants?"
watching the
That's so
remaining
real. What's
ants
good, Oso?
who had randomly decided to pick up another operation. The ants that were committed to heading back to the rock were now all inside. It was at that moment the Sagittarius army pulled a full push in. Charge! And in a matter of seconds, I noticed that a mass of marauder ants were forcing Zena
Yes!
into the hole. What were they doing?
Yes.
And why?
It's weird because I'm going for the sapphire ants because they're blue. I'm going for the black crazy ants because they're black. And I'm not too mad at freaking the last two animatronic girls. They kind of fired.
But my heart dropped to the pit of my stomach when I looked closer and realized the ants around Zena weren't marauder ants. No! The black crazy ants had seized Zena.
If you
Zena,
didn't treat them
being
crazy.
fumigated with formic acid, tried with all her might to fight the swarm of black crazy ants who had moved in and captured
get
her,
out of there!
as well as all remaining marauder
It's
ants
over.
at the tissue and around the hole. The colony was back at the rock, busy fortifying their protective wall, as the Sagittarius army continued to drag Zena far away. She tried her best to grip onto the glass,
Zena, no!
but it was no use. The Sag army was too strong.
The rock grab got it. You could really see her trying to hang on. Oh, that's sad.
And she was growing weaker by the second. In a panic, I removed the tissue, hoping that any remaining members might better smell her distress pheromones.
Whoa! What do you mean? In a panic, you're metagaming. You're hacking. You're hacking. Why can't you see through walls? Yo, that's not even fair because the other ants put in mad work. Nah, the other ants put in mad work. I'm hot.
And attempt to save her. But amidst the marauder ants that did smell her distress pheromones, returning to the tissue to save her, the Sagittarius army was now pulling back.
Dang, bro, that's terrifying.
Back off! Back off! Out of here! A brave and solo native red ant appeared on the scene.
Red ants are so solid, bro. Hate you to death. Red ants are so solid though, especially if you in Florida and all that. So solid. Hate them to death. But solid.
She ran through the commotion, attacking all crazy ants in her path. She was a Verdantia native.
Yeah, fire ants.
Fierce and used to living among these crazy ants. She climbed her way up the protective wall of the marauders. Hey, are you guys okay? I couldn't believe they were letting her in. Past the wall and under the rock with them. They didn't attempt to harm her, and as soon as she detected a black crazy ant, she charged at it. Away! The native ants were uniting. It was a glimmer of hope amidst the chaos. As I watched the Sagittarius army carrying Zena
getting dragged
away into the grass.
You can't even eat me for real. Come on.
My heart filled with sorrow as I began to accept that no one was going to be able to rescue Zena now. Zena would be dying today. She was much too far and the swarm much too powerful. A valiant display of bravery, she was now fulfilling her life purpose that every super major was born for, sacrificing her own life for the colony. This was Ant Love and the ultimate sacrifice.
If this is Ant Love, I hate everybody. No cap.
Her colony would now be okay as they proceeded to dig deeper tunnels beneath the rock and dump the grains of soil outside. Some of the Sagittarius army had been injured against the marauders, and others stayed clear of their new rivals. Whatever the case, the Sagittarius army was now fully aware that they were no longer the only superpower in the lands.
Things got serious.
This was an ant war I would remember forever. One that happens countless times in nature. But it hurt, and I wept for Zena, who was being carried away into the darkness of the tall grass.
That hurts.
But what happened the next day was a plot twist I completely didn't expect.
She's alive? She's alive? Please.
Strangely, the hole I created was now filled in by the marauders who had been excavating non-stop. But strangely, not under the rock. There was no action here. There was, however, a new anthill at a patch of grass. I spotted a black crazy ant come by, but it refused to test its luck against the miner in full threat pose, ready to sting. Attacking again didn't seem to be on the agenda today.
Yeah.
And indeed, when I looked up, I spotted where the Sagittarius army's new priorities were. The black crazy ants were moving. I saw them transporting brood. Aha! They were in a spot that was free of the grass, and a place I could vacuum them up safely. I moved in and checked the back of the vivarium and saw where they were trailing in from.
I forgot all of this was to get the black people
within
out.
the great tree, and were now trailing down along the track and heading somewhere far to the other end of the grasslands. It looks like the moving in of their new neighbors, the marauders, had caused the ants to decide to move to a place furthest from their nest.
Whoa.
This was perfect. Before busting out the anteater, I checked to see if I could spot where they were moving to. And when I discovered the answer, I was left completely
The
speechless.
top of the big plant?
AC family, are you ready for this?
Talk to me.
The Sagittarius army was seen emerging outside of the tank
What?
and heading down the edge of the Vivarium.
Is it an open tank? Oh my goodness. Oh, that would be the end of everything ant related for me. Oh, that would be the end of everything for me. Nah, you just got bugs in the crib? Can't do that, bro. Can't do that.
Across the floor. Now, your initial reaction might be that the ants were escaping into my ant room. But this was not the story I felt was happening. The ants were returning to the place from whence they came. The outside. You see, I live in the tropics, where ants and other insects are always finding ways into my home.
No way the ants are doing the Promised Neverland creation right now. Oh my gosh, they know that they're in the wrong world and they're trying to escape. Yo, that's fire. No, that's actually tough. Oh my gosh, they're trying to season 1 Promised Neverland right now.
And although I do my best to take all measures to keep them out of my setups and keep my place dry and clean so they don't want to move in, my vivariums offer the perfect havens for relocation. Bam! Ah! The Sagittarius army had found a hole into Verdantia from the back and had moved in without me knowing. This explains why the droves of ants seem to have appeared out of nowhere. They had broken in. In came a beast from the skies, and the black crazy ants instantly froze dead in their tracks, fighting against the sucking mouth of the anteater, clinging on for their lives. This is for my isopods.
You're the one who put the isopods in there. I feel like the black ants were getting a little too much hate this video.
The Sag army, in a panic, headed back with their brood as the anteater went in to feed with a vengeance.
Yeah, makes sense.
A bug watched from a blade of grass nearby. Man, what a bad day to be a black crazy ant. The anteater began to feed on the floor. I couldn't let the invasive black crazy ants return to the wild outside.
Why?
In the name of all the Zenas of my yard.
Why not?
Native ants who fell victim to these invasive ants. This is for Zena. With diatomaceous chalk, I began to trace the deadly but eco-friendly anticide along surfaces within their path as the ants traveling over it were cut up into a million slices, causing them to dehydrate to death. And just like that, a huge dent was made on the Sagittarius army. I patched up the hole so this wouldn't ever happen again.
Yo, how tough are the other ants that you added if you got to do this much metagaming though? He got in he had jumped in creative. You're not in survival. This is so cool.
The following day, things looked a lot different. I spotted an isopod feeding from leaf litter, in peace, undisturbed. The millipedes were crawling calmly along the grassland floor, and although I did see a few black crazy ants, they weren't harassing the rhino beetles, feeding from their banana. I think we had done it, AC family. I did see a small trail of black crazy ants by the rocks,
You're never gonna be
but
able
this
to
didn't
get
worry
everything,
me.
yeah.
I was just happy to now have a healthy colony of marauders to take their place as the new alpha ant of Verdantia. I placed in a pre-crushed cricket to feed our new marauders as a housewarming gift, welcoming them to the grasslands. As I watched them swarm from below the soil onto the cricket, my heart was filled with ant love. You know, sometimes in this insane biological journey of discovery, keeping these vivariums, certain crises spring up. But every time, with some clever planning and a little help from Mother Nature, things tend to work out in the end, with sacrifices made, but never forgotten.
Right.
Enjoy your new home, guys.
Oh, there's more! It's at moments later. I stayed to film them feeding for a bit, but realized something looked strange. There was still a shocking number of black crazy ants in the veranda. And the Vivarium. Whoa! See, now you don't aggravate them because you try to play God with it. And they're like, since we got to go against God, we going to go against God. Now you got ants that are willing to die about it. That's what he's not understanding. That's what he created. Something crazy I've never done before. Scare me. Okay, thank goodness. But desperate times call for desperate measures. To be continued. Dang! This was
Vote in my community
fire.
tab to affect this story.
If you guys enjoyed this video and want to see more of it and want to continue to see the next part, make sure you like and click this video right here. It's even more entertaining than this one, guaranteed. And I'll see you guys in the next Stanley Live. With that being said, goodbye. Peace.